Hi, Pat.
Hey, Michael.
How's she going, eh?
She's a going. She's a going. What are you smoking on over there? I hear some huffing and puffing.
My Virginia tobacco, 5%. The fellows down at the gas depot, they got my order ready every time they see me coming.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a little embarrassing.
The kid with the suspenders again.
Right. The kid, the fucking cowboy hat. He always comes in here.
You rock a cowboy hat?
Sometimes, yeah. I like it. It provides a lot of wind or sun coverage.
Do people ask you about it?
No.
Never.
Nope. No, I never get any questions about it.
Not once.
I get some looks.
Sure.
I get looks occasionally, but no questions.
The cowboy hat is probably really not the best choice for cowboys. I mean, it is the least aerodynamic hat there is out there. It's
they
so
need
tall. You're gonna catch some. Well, maybe the sombrero. Sombrero is probably a little less aerodynamic.
I was actually looking into this the other day because I had the same question. No, I had the same question. I was like, why do cowboy hats? Why are they bent? Why do they go up on the sides? Like that doesn't make sense. Also, if you want a lot of sun coverage, you're going to want to go sombrero, right? Or something wider, right?
Are cowboy hats just a knockoff of sombreros?
They're a variation of it, yeah.
Okay.
They started. Well, they go way back. 1865 was the first cowboy hat. Well, it was when John B. Stetson did it, right? And Stetsons are like the Cadillac of hats, apparently. I don't have a Stetson. I got a Cody James that I'm a big fan of. $50 at your Boot Barn retailer. But what was it? He lived in New York, and he was making hats there, and he got tuberculosis. So the only kind of cure for tuberculosis in the 1800s was moving westward, right? Drier climate. Because tuberculosis is basically your lungs filling with fluid, right? Okay. So the only medical diagnosis for that, or medical kind of cure, the best they can do in 1800s, right? Without taking out a lung. Yeah, you got to move to California, Arizona, Nevada, New Mexico. Really dry climates that's going to keep the stuff from building up in your lungs.
You probably have a better, just as good of a chance dying going all the way out that way. Pretty much you're telling me right. The diagnosis was you gotta take the Oregon Trail.
Right. You gotta either die here in your chair or risk it and probably die on the way out there. If I had my choice, I'd probably take it on the trail. Fuck it, dude.
I mean, at least
I'm dead either way.
That's the thing. You have a 0% chance of living if you stay, but
Yeah.
As long as
might as well roll the dice.
Get you.
Right, or the Cherokee, or the Sioux, or the Cree, or the Crow. Nobody was really all that popular. Anyway,
so just move north.
I mean, yeah, I guess you could. It still gets a little humid around north. I guess maybe the snow in the air isn't good for lungs. I don't know. I'm not a doctor, and I haven't really looked into the cures for tuberculosis.
Well, it doesn't sound like neither of these people if they're just telling you diagnosis is the move.
Well, I mean, they were also doing things like, let's give you an ear nail, or let's give you a donkey kicking, and those were medically diagnosed procedures, or bloodletting. We're just going to cut you a bunch of times and hope you bleed out the illness.
I would love to hear the logic conversations behind closed doors of how that went down.
You got bad blood.
I think it should work. If we just drain it all.
I mean, he's got to make more, right?
Yeah.
So, if we take out all the bad stuff and
I can
make
give him
good
some
stuff,
of my blood.
it's both red. It's got to work.
Right?
But so he moved westward, and he saw all the guys wearing different types of hats, and he saw the Mexican cowboys wearing sombreros. So he ended up making like their own line of cowboy hats like that.
So why did he bend them?
To keep out of the way of the lasso when you're throwing it above your head. Apparently, it bent sides keep the lasso from hitting your hat. The wide brim
You didn't
is
just
to block.
learn a new way to throw the lasso into like a little sidearm.
I think it's easier to change the shape of a hat than to maybe learn to lasso a different way.
It depends on the hat.
I guess it does depend on the hat. Yeah, because I think it'd be really hard to lasso in a sombrero. Have you ever seen the size of those? That'd be very difficult. I don't care how good of a lasso you are.
That's the thing is that's a hat that serves a purpose, you know?
It does. And it's a statement maker, too. If you see somebody showing up in a cowboy hat, you probably think, oh, they probably watched too much Yellowstone. You see somebody rolling up in a sombrero, that is a bandito, my friend, and you walk the other way. Apparently, the style, the aerodynamic, the bent is supposed to help deflect head-on wind currents rather than catching the wind and blowing the hat off.
And you can't get like an adjustable cowboy hat, you know? They don't make those, do they?
They don't.
Yeah. Maybe that's a little market we can tap into, Michael.
Adjustable cowboy hat?
Adjustable cowboy hats.
You take the adjustable brim of a snapback, right? And then you put it in a cowboy hat. And then bing, bang, boom. You got a hat for life. No matter how big your head gets.
It is kind of a slap in the face to all those workers that do need a hat all day to keep the sun out of their face. You think they get mad when they see someone wearing a hat backwards, especially with sunglasses on?
Yeah, I've walked past some guys doing yard work outside of my apartment, right? And you can tell they are mowing lawns all day, type of thing. And they'll see me wearing the hat, and part of me feels like I'm a poser.
The cowboy hat?
Yeah, like you need to wear this hat, not me. I just like the look of it, but he needs the cowboy hat. I should probably just give it to him.
Yeah, because especially
you need this more than me.
Especially if you're just like sitting there walking Poppy for 10 minutes and you're putting on the cowboy hat to go outside, compared to these poor guys that are out there at 95 degrees by the time it's 10:30.
Yep. But they probably look at me and call me a stupid gringo, and then it all evens out at the end of the day, Yeah.
And then you just go, bon dia! And then
bon dia.
Really confuse the shit out of them.
What the fuck? Who's that?
That wasn't even Spanish.
Where did he come from? I think he's special. I think he's touched. Going around hollering all different sorts of words.
Speaking of special / touched, I never thought I'd see it. I thought I'd see it as a joke from you, to be honest with you, but I was walking home today, and there was an elderly man, but he was sporting suspenders on his sweatpants. I've never thought I'd see that.
What a trendsetter. Did you have to do a double take to see if it was me?
No, I knew it wasn't you right away. I had to do a double take to make sure what I was seeing was what I was seeing,
I think at a certain age you can do shit like that and just get away with it.
That's the level of I don't give a fuck.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not even married anymore. My wife's dead. I'm not trying to pull any more tail. I have literally no one to impress anymore.
Half the time I don't even know what fucking day it is.
Yeah.
I mean, more power to him. If that's what he's going to rock and he's going to rock it confidently, hey, I lost a bunch of weight, but I don't want to buy a new pair of pants, so suspenders. There you go.
It didn't seem that way. It seemed like those sweatpants. No. It seemed like the elastic was worn out super, super bad. Yeah. And instead of just going to buy a new pair of sweatpants, he just said, fuck it. I don't have a wife to go buy me new sweatpants. So I'm just going to stick with these.
Fuck it, dude. That's awesome. I mean, yeah, I think anything after 75, you got kind of carte blanche to do whatever the fuck you want.
I know that I'm not the only person to say this, but if I make it to that point, I'm going to do all the drugs.
I mean, why not?
All of them.
Yeah. Did you see the video of the guy getting pulled over? He's like a 75-year-old man, and the cops ask him, how much have you had to drink today? He says, a couple. you know? And they're like, well, you're slurring your words, and so we're going to do a field sobriety test. He goes, I don't consent for that. And this kind of thing goes on and on, back and forth for a couple times, right? Mm-hmm. You said you had something to drink today. He goes, yeah, I had a couple of things to drink today. And then his wife goes, no, he doesn't touch alcohol. So he goes back to the guy, and he's like, wait, I thought you said you had something to drink. He goes, yeah, 2 Dr. Peppers, a water, and then a Coke later. And that's all I've had to drink. He's like, wait, you told me that you had something to drink. He's like, I did. I'm not lying to you. He's like, I thought you meant alcohol. No, I don't drink that.
If we're thinking of the same video, I'm pretty sure that was also like a retired like FBI agent or some. He was retired from law enforcement, just fucking with him.
That's hilarious. I think I'm right there with you, though. I think after a certain age, just start dropping acid every day, you know?
Yeah. Start your day off with some edible pancakes or something, you know?
Speaking of acid, Pat, I think my favorite generation to learn about, or my favorite time frame in American history, has been a lie.
What are you talking about, Michael?
I think I heard today, and I kind of looked into it a little bit, but there's a theory, a conspiracy theory, that the whole hippie movement, the whole, you know, tune in, drop out, whatever type of thing, was all deployed by the CIA on purpose.
Well, there's a lot of layers to that, Michael. There's a lot of layers to that.
And this is where it starts, from what I understand anyway. Mm-hmm. So Ken Kesey, you know who Ken Kesey is?
No.
So Ken Kesey
was... a cool name, though.
He does have a cool name. So he wrote One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. He was with the Merry Pranksters. And these guys were the ones in the 1960s that were driving around in the bus, right? Handing out flowers to everybody. You know, they like kind of pioneered taking the hippie movement from like New York to California and back again, right?
Okay.
So he was the one that was known for that and starting that movement. Well, he was part of MK Ultra, and not like a unwilling participant. He volunteered for that shit. So he was getting acid for free.
Well, so that's why he wanted to join. It sounds like, hey, I could.
Honestly, if anybody,
I could buy acid from you.
Honestly, if anybody's like outside holding a cardboard sign saying free acid, I'm probably going to ask.
Well, you know? Yeah, I'm going to go up to him. But so was he like just like a hippie who saw this as an opportunity, or did like he have like a military background before? And I guess what's his history, if you have any knowledge of that?
Off the top of my head, I don't think he was military. I think he was just a dude signing up for one of those signs that you see, you know, for like testing. You know, we'll pay you $150 to take either a placebo or a new heart medication, you know, type of thing.
This easily could have been us. Do you remember how many people in college signed up to get their plasma drawn out just for a couple $100?
No, but I have looked into that myself. Plasma, bone marrow. Mm-hmm. I always think of that Simpsons episode where Barney becomes the medical experience, and he's got all the ears growing on his chest, and Mo goes, "Whoa!" He's like, "Oh man, not so loud."
Sorry. Didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good. So yeah, I think he just kind of signed up for it, because usually MK Ultra is like, you know, you're tricked into doing it.
Yeah.
You know?
So that's the thing. So did he go through like MK Ultra himself, and like they manipulated him, or was he like kind of pulling the puppet strings?
I think the CIA was pulling the strings, and they used Ken Kesey as the avenue to make it more mainstream, if I understand this right.
Gotcha.
So they saw what LSD was doing to him, right? And then kind of realized this could pacify people, right? Or get them to open up. Because LSD, I think, was supposed to be used as a truth serum there for a little bit.
Have you ever heard of, I think it's called Operation Climax, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Have you heard of that one?
I have not.
I think it's called Operation... So it was with Jolly Wes And I'm pretty sure it's called Operation Climax because it's going to really be funny with the pun here in a minute. So what he would do, Jolly West would set up whorehouses, and he would tell the girls to give the guys lace their drinks with acid or LSD, and then he would sit behind two-way mirrors at the whorehouses and see how guys would act in front of Midnight Climax. That's what it was called.
Oh, jeez. I mean, they couldn't pick anything more like subtle, like Project Red Light. They had to go with Midnight Climax.
Midnight Climax.
Jeez.
Someone had a sense of humor.
Oh boy.
Okay. Sorry.
That's hilarious though. I mean, you gotta hand it to how creative we were in the 1960s as far as government experiments went.
Dude, imagine what they're doing right now. They're crossbreeding us with the animals now. Come on, we just don't know about it.
Yeah, no, we did.
Wolverine exists. Damn it,
he does. I saw him. There's the leprechaun in the tree in Atlanta. Yeah. You remember that shit?
Yeah.
Everybody see the leprechaun say yeah. So funny. Anyway, so yeah, he did the MK Ultra, right, as a volunteer. Now it says here on his Wikipedia page that he was tricked into volunteering, but who knows if that's actually true, right? But he was
didn't realize how big it was going to get.
Yeah. So he did acid, mushrooms, mescaline, cocaine, and DMT. It wasn't just acid. So he did a lot.
Got quite a lineup.
Rewrote some things, right?
Was it in that order?
Hopefully not. Hopefully they would have gone cocaine first, then LSD, psilocybin or mushrooms, mescaline, cocaine, AMT, which it looks like a thing of methamphetamine, and then DMT. That's the big boy.
No, I think that's the right way to do them. Really trip yourself out, and then you're going to need a big pick me up.
Yeah,
so you go with the coke and the AMT right in the middle before the big shebang, the big grand finale with the DMT.
Right, and then you can have a conversation with the alien life forms that you meet on DMT. Some of those people talking about what they see on DMT is wild. Seeing out of other life forms, and they explain shit to you.
I've heard stories that people all see very similar things when they take DMT, and we're not talking about friends in the same house taking it. It's across multiple experiences, different places, different years, different faces.
Right. Yeah, no, that's what's all weird about it. Now, I don't know if this is actually true or if this is the older brother in the basement that you buy weed from tells you that the Mayans created cell phones type of knowledge, right? But somebody told me once that DMT, the actual chemical, right, is found in all living life forms. They all have it somewhere.
That I don't know, but I do know that DMT is a natural chemical that the brain does make up on its own.
Yeah. You can tap into that. And then what's the other one? Ayahuasca?
Ayahuasca is something that's more like the natives and older civilizations or, that type of stuff, especially in South America, taking it a lot for their hallucinogenic journeys and those spiritual things.
The spirit guides or your spirit trip or whatever you do.
Apparently it sucks to go through. While you're doing it, you just shit and puke your brains out. I'm serious. Apparently it's not. But they say afterwards you feel so much better.
Oh, I bet it's a immediate cleanse. Some people go on the cayenne pepper cleanse. Some people do the ayahuasca cleanse. Either way, you're emptying out.
Exactly.
But I've heard ayahuasca and DMT have similar type of trips.
Yes.
Type of thing, where you see higher life forms. That's what Sturgill Simpson's "Turtles All the Way Down" song is about. It's about a DMT trip.
He saw turtles?
That was what they had called it, like they saw turtles all the way down the line, is the line in the song, but that's kind of like what him and his friends, like the inside joke of that trip, populated. So then he took that song and wrote it in the shower.
While on DMT?
After DMT. He wrote it in the shower on a tour, and he almost fell out of the shower trying to write it down.
Hard not to get the paper wet.
Right? Anyway, so yeah, Ken Kesey was doing all this shit. And then, like, right after he was out of MK Ultra, or like when he completed like the tests, right? Then he went on to write One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. So that was like his first book, and that was kind of along the same lines of like Jack Kerouac's On the Road, right? Or you had Catcher in the Rye kind of come out around the same time. Mm-hmm. Those like somewhat trippy books, you know, or like just outside of the norm, you know? So
sure.
He wrote that in like 63, I think it was, and then they did the movie obviously after that. But then in 64, that's when he started doing like the Merry Pranksters. So he got this big bus, he painted it all goofy, right? And then he called it the Electric Kool-Aid Acid Test. And that's a book by Tom Wolfe.
How do you say no to that?
I know, it sounds awesome, right? Well, what kind of Kool-Aid is there? Are we talking cherry or grape?
Either way, I'm in.
Right? So that's what they would do. They would go around to different cities on this big bus, right? They would smoke pot all day, listen to music. Everybody would drink the Kool-Aid, right? And then they would just start tripping. So he would do this across the country. And then this is when, about the time that the Grateful Dead comes in. So they would hire a local band in San Francisco to play while they were doing these acid trips.
Yep, I knew that about Grateful Dead. They got big from like acid parties.
Yep, so that's what they would do. They would take acid, listen to the Grateful Dead, which people are still doing today. You know, I'm glad people are sticking with tradition, you know?
Uh-huh.
But from there, that's when that kind of expanded into like the rest of the hippie genre music culture, which bleeds into like Hendrix and the Mamas and the Papas and like the later stages of the Monkees, because all these guys like the Mamas and the Papas, Frank Zappa, the Monkees, who else? James Taylor, Crosby, Stills, Nash, the Doors. Yeah, they were all living in this same area about the same time. So they were doing all these acid tests, right? Which Ken Kesey got from the government, right? That's where the connection is, the conspiracy theory, right? Did Ken Kesey just enjoy doing the acid, or did the government give him the acid to do this? You know,
so is that what's not been proven?
Yeah, that's why it's a little. That's why it falls into a conspiracy theory, because there's nothing to really prove it.
What was the end game to? I guess let me back up a little bit, because at that same time, you also had the government trying to make the hippies look bad and also the black community look bad when it came to like the use of weed.
Yep.
Like it was pushing it really bad on, you know, showing a certain stereotype of two different groups of people showing
communism.
You know, yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's exactly. Yeah. And so was this kind of like the government trying to flank, you know, on both sides?
Yeah.
Because I guess.
Yeah. No,
yeah.
Uh-huh. Well, I think
I mean, the acid really make them look like terrible people. Like,
well,
or just try to make them lazy, where like you just don't care about shit anymore because you're just, you know, traveling the world watching.
I think it's a little column A, column B, right? Because you do. I mean, the whole hippie culture that's the first counterculture. That's the first time, I think.
I don't know. At least in say that.
Not maybe the first time, but it was a pretty predominant
Michael, we had
time.
a Revolutionary War. You want to talk about counterculture?
Right.
We had a tea party.
We did. We got drunk and we threw a bunch of tea in the water.
And we dressed up as Indians. Awesome. We had a dress up party.
I think it was we'll call it a spiritual counterculture, right? Because a lot of the dialogue that was coming from the hippies. And I've even watched like interviews of people like, 64, 65, right, that are sitting out on UC Berkeley's lawn talking about it. And they all kind of say the same thing. And that thing is that they see what their parents are doing, right, of grow up, get a job, get married, have kids, teach your kids to do the same thing that you did, rinse and repeat, right?
Sure.
And like that just kind of mainstream, like this is how the world operates. And then with the introduction of LSD and all these other psychedelics, right, you had this like spiritual deviation, right, where people were starting to kind of think and explore and say, well, I think there's maybe a little bit more to life than this, right? Now, people have been thinking that way since fucking Galileo, right? Because he was arguably one of the first that said, I hear what you're saying, but you're fucking wrong. And here's why, But this was so drug fueled. That's a harsh way to put it, but that's yeah, but that was the gateway right into this line of thinking. So with that deviation, then you had already the current populace thinking, well, these kids are all on drugs, they're crazy, they're long hair hippie freaks, they don't have jobs, right? They're talking about free love, right? Free everything, communism. Now, that was the same time that Vietnam was kicking off, and the French
were getting... Which they lied about that too, by the way.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that whole lie about spreading, the influence of communism through Southeast Asia was totally made up.
Gulf of Tonkin never even happened.
It didn't.
You lied about a completely fabricated an event.
Yeah, that was all made up.
That's like Pearl Harbor never happening and saying we're,
right?
going to get into World War II.
Exactly. So they were trying to combat that, and then also using the counterculture at that time, right, to say communism's bad. Now, in the same right, you see what's kind of happened to a lot of that generation now, right, where you could argue maybe that they're more susceptible to misinformation via Facebook, right? I'm talking about your atypical boomers that are getting their news from. So in a way, you could see it as government manipulation, right? I'm trying to pacify these people, right? And get them to think a certain way so I can continue on with what I want to do, which is develop a whole government hierarchy, global hierarchy that controls everything.
Sure.
is where that ultimately leads,
Lots to unpack right there, but
yeah.
Here's a couple things. So the idea of a 19, 20-year-old thinking, I don't want to do what my parents did, get a job, have kids, do A, B, and C, white picket fence. I think that's nothing to do with drugs. That's what most 19, 20-year-olds feel like.
Right.
At that age. So I see no different in when I was that age. I see no different at the kids now at that age saying the exact same thing.
Yep.
And also, you have those exact same people that said that who fell into the quote-unquote trap of falling into a job, having kids, white picket fence, lovely retirement, you're welcome, boomers, all that stuff.
Right.
And them not regretting a thing, saying this is actually the way to do things. And
True.
So I just feel like history constantly does repeat. It's like I just feel like it's no different than what we have going on now. I think that I feel like the kids of the 60s and 70s, they're the first generation of our remembrance, if you have our memory, that the parents couldn't go, hey, Betsy, hey, we were doing that when we were that age. Relax. Right. Like, they'll figure it out. They were the first ones that really kind of did their own thing, and I don't know. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it totally does. I'm tracking with you. And maybe I think maybe during the MK Ultra trials, right? I think before it took a more nefarious turn, right? Of like your, God, now I'm blanking on his name. Charles Manson, right? Yeah. When that came to light, I think in a way maybe the government identified that this was a very impressionable time, and then that's who we should introduce this to. You know, the ones who are already
more impressionable than kids,
right?
Especially when you're 18, so you're like, hey, I'm an adult, I can do what I want. My parents don't have control over me anymore. But you're more malleable than ever at that age. Right.
So what a better time to introduce a pacifying drug or a mind manipulation drug, right? To alter the state of things as it was. I mean, maybe if we want to follow this rabbit hole, right? Maybe it was a controlled chaos, you know? Like they purposely did that knowing that X amount of the culture, right? I'm sure they had scientists behind it going, if you dose this many are going to, you know, I guess in a hyperbolic sense, cause a revolution, right? Or a change in thinking, which is going to veer us this way. Well, you know, and then you get into the weird tangles of it of like, okay, now we're going to introduce this politician at this time, right?
True,
like
100%.
Like your Kennedys, or you know, a different one that's going to even be more progressive or more or whatever string you want to pull, right? Sure. And then you're going off the coattails of, you know, this impressionable, still my mind's been mushed a little bit by acid, therefore I'm going to, you know, automatically align to this ideology.
I don't even know if it's a line, but it's also, let's be honest, have you ever seen two guys on acid or two guys on mushrooms start a fist fight or get mad? Like, it's also, you know, you're not gonna ask questions. You're not gonna start fighting. You're not gonna be aggressive back, and you know, you're not gonna have a Boston Tea Party in 1976.
No,
you know?
No, yeah,
they're gonna talk about it. They're gonna talk about it, but they're gonna get in a little hippie circle, bang their drums, sing Kumbaya.
Yeah, exactly. Like you show, it's a fake revolution, right? Because everything was based in love, right? And freedom of expression, and they did their protests, right? And I mean, I can't really name one of the hippie protests, right, against the war that got overly violent, you know?
Oh my gosh, there was one in Chicago in the 70s. I think it was the Chicago riots of 70.
Sure. Well, I mean, that also gets into some of like the race riots that were happening at the same time. I'm talking about like your peace and love get-togethers, you know, where they're saying make love, not war type of thing, you know?
Yeah.
You don't hear a lot of those getting violence now in the black community at that time, right? That's where you have a lot of those race riots because you had, civil rights happen at the same time,
I don't think this is race riots. I think there's a movie about it called like the Chicago 8.
Yeah. Isn't that with Sacha Baron Cohen? Isn't he in that?
Oh, I'm not seeing him in there. Chicago 8 were a group of anti-war activists indicted for conspiring to cross state lines, incite riots during the 1968 Democratic National Convention.
Oh, yeah. No, the Chicago trial of the Chicago 7. Yeah, Sacha Baron Cohen's in that. I want to say he plays Abby Hoffman. So, I mean, that's a really good example there, right? So, Abby Hoffman was the radical hippie. He's the one that's in Forrest Gump, you know, that wears that American flag shirt.
Damn.
Yeah, exactly. That guy is supposed to be Abby Hoffman, right? And he was the one that he was like the Malcolm X, right, of the hippies. He was the more radical one, saying like, if we need change or if we want change, being violent or being aggressive is the only way to do it. Now, I'm paraphrasing both sides here, right?
Sure.
Don't cancel me for saying that, right? But like that's what Abby Hoffman was getting at. But I mean, there's maybe less than a dozen stuff like that. I think what I'm getting at, right, is that to your point, that kind of peace and love, right? You want the change, but you don't do it in a violent sense. So it just becomes a more malleable situation, right? Yeah. If you have a hard line of like, we're going to start bombing shit, or setting fire to buildings, right? You can't manipulate an ideology that's grounded in violence, but you can if we're doing it on acid, and expanding your mind and being more susceptible to different ideas, right?
Sure.
So that's what I think, like, the government influence was there, right? They had the long-term play there, we're going to give out some acid for free. We're going to start selling this shit, right? And then we're going to get everybody off of this train and put them on a different one. And then through that and our placed politicians, right, and our fake war where we're going to, if they're not getting high and changing their minds, well, they're just going to, get fried in Vietnam.
Yeah.
Really, I mean, you had one population here and the other population over there,
Yep.
And then we're going to get what we want at the very end of it.
Yeah. Isn't it crazy how the government is arguably the biggest drug dealer in American history?
Absolutely. Oh, that's
and
not
I don't even think it's argued, but yeah.
It's been proven, I think, a couple hundred times. What was it? American Made. You ever see that movie with Tom Cruise? It's a true story. It's, oh God, what's his name? But it's about how the CIA was funding the Contras that were in Central America by bringing in cocaine, right, to the U.S. So then they would sell that to the Contras. The Contras would then use that money. And the CIA was totally involved with multiple coups and stuff like that throughout all of Central America, right? And how they were bringing in cocaine to the United States and giving it to people. Barry Seal, that's the guy who did it. He was the pilot who was hired by the CIA to bring drugs to the Medellin cartel and then cocaine back to the United States, and then he would take that money and give it to Noriega in Panama. So this guy was smuggling it all back and forth. Hired by the CIA.
Yeah. Fucking nuts, man. Fucking nuts.
Yeah. So I guess by proxy, right, you could also say that the CIA is the
crack pandemic, with all that stuff.
Yeah. For sure.
Jesus. I don't know. Fentanyl, all the crazy stuff. Hey, question for you. Chinatown. Multiple Chinatowns. I only see Chinatown. Do they ever get past the town? I never see China City. No, just China. It's always Chinatown. Towns aren't that big.
You don't. You see a lot of littles, Little Italy, Little India,
Italy.
Little,
you never see
Mexico,
Little China.
Right? You never see it, but you always see a Chinatown.
Always a town. China is always a town. Never anything else.
Yeah. Have you seen, there's this guy
not even the Chinese district. Nothing.
Right. No, it's just Chinatown. Just odd Chinatown. There's this guy on Instagram right now. He's got a mullet, right? And his thing is he's going to every Chinese buffet he can before he gets food poisoning.
Oh God.
He's on day 67 or something like that. And all of the different buffets that he goes to all have the goofiest random fucking names. King Dragon, Chinese buffet. It's just called Chinese buffet.
It's not that random. Hey, get to the point. What are you? A Chinese buffet?
Right. We're just a Chinese buffet,
What more do you need to know?
What was the one near our house? Little Munchin or something? Or Munchin Inn, I think is what they called it. And it was just another Chinese buffet.
We had I want to say it was Golden Dragon, but I know that's not right. It was something ridiculous, though.
Yeah. We had Seoul Town or something, but it was Korean, Seoul, Seoul Town or something like that, or Jade Palace, something or other.
Garden?
Maybe.
I'm not going to remember.
I don't know. I can do some.
Not even a China street, Michael. It's only town.
Right. Yeah, I don't know why that is. Honestly,
China Boulevard. Nothing.
I've never thought about it, but I also, I don't know. I've never been asked that question before. Why is it always Chinatown over China City?
Nothing.
China Peninsula.
What about just China?
Or just China, right? Yeah,
just China.
I mean, I would rather live in Chinatown than like Paris, Texas. You know, I think I'd rather live in a Chinatown than a town named after somewhere cooler.
There's a Cuba, Illinois. Did you know that?
Isn't there a Sandwich, Illinois too?
Of course, yeah. There's Sandwich, but can you imagine? Like, where'd you grow up? Cuba.
Cuba, right?
Illinois. We have great corn.
Right. What's the one from the Beach Boys song that's in Indiana? Kokomo, Indiana.
Really?
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, Kokomo, Indiana.
Okay, well, the song obviously came first. Let's be honest.
Right? I wonder what they were named before the Beach Boys song.
That's a landlocked city. No way you name it. Actually, it's Kokomo is right next to Vermont. Did you see that?
Well, now they're just getting lazy.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah, I don't know. But speaking of landlocked...
Hold on. Do you want to know what Kokomo... So it's got... it's got Gas City to its east. It's got... what was it? Vermont to its east. And it's got West Middleton to its west and Russiaville. See, even Russia gets something. They got Russiaville. There's no Chinaville.
That doesn't even make sense. They're not even trying to name a town anymore.
And they got a Nevada. There's a Nevada, Indiana.
They're known as the City of Firsts. That's bullshit. They're not City of Firsts.
What if they are? What if we just copied up? Then there's also Miami. I'm dead serious, dude.
Oh, I know. I'm looking at the map. I saw Miami.
Laziest state of all time.
Right? Tracks. That fucking tracks. Let's see. City of First earned its nickname due to historical breakthroughs, like Elwood Haynes Building being one of America's first cars in 1894, the invention of the push-button car radio, and the first all-porcelain bathtub. That's not even cool stuff to be listed as the City of First.
Dude, they even got a Michigan town.
We made a fucking bathtub. Oh, yeah? Neat.
Sounds like you brought a fucking creek into your house, idiot.
Right. Jeez.
How are you going to get rid of the water?
That's so funny. That's not even cool. I mean, that's such an Indiana thing. They just took all the cool shit from other places and put it in their own town. Oh, boy.
Silly.
Fucking Indiana. It was named Macomo, a notable Miami tribal leader who lived in the region. Well, that doesn't make sense either because they're not anywhere close to Miami. Now they're just making shit up as they go.
Yeah, I don't believe it.
Do you remember the Miami Aliens event that happened?
Yeah, in the mall?
Yeah. How did that disappear? Why did people stop talking about that?
Because 15 other things happened in the news that week, Michael.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Question for you.
Mm-hmm.
If the CIA is really, really good at writing music, because think about it. The CIA has wrote more bangers, sold more drugs, and wrote more bangers than anyone we've ever known.
True.
What bands do you think that are around now that the CIA developed? Okay, let's start with the 90s. What 90s bands do you think are CIA affiliated and to go 2000s and so on?
Fucking Nirvana, probably.
No, Nirvana's not cool enough to be... No, don't give Nirvana that much credit.
I don't want to, but Kurt Cobain died in mysterious ways, and that kind of tracks with the CIA.
No, he didn't. He shot himself.
No, it was Courtney Love shot him.
Do you really think that?
when it boils down to it, I don't know, and I don't really care. But I really like the idea of that story, right? That Courtney Love killed him to get more press, and make herself look cooler.
Well, it didn't really work. I mean, it did for a little bit, but
yeah, it was also weird because, I think it was the handwriting wasn't Kurt Cobain's. Yeah, there was a couple things about it that were just suspicious. I don't know if they've made bands, but I think I don't think it'd be too much of a stretch to think that Mark David Chapman killing John Lennon was a CIA issue. Because the CIA were they were bugging John Lennon's house because he was pushing the peace love movement,
Sure.
And so they were tapping him as a potential communist, right, at the time.
Why does peace and love have to do with communism, though?
Because communism for the people who aren't educated is like sharing everything,
Yeah, it's a terrible idea.
Yeah, it's the commune living, right, that gets associated. And communes...
Yeah, but was John Lennon saying we should be communists? I can't imagine someone who just bought 2 mansions and has 4 cars and made $2 million back in the 1960s believes he wants to share.
The funniest shit about all of that, right, is that he did he called it a bed-in, right? He just laid in bed for a week, right? Him and Yoko, fucking Yoko. And he was protesting the war. He was protesting the government.
By staying in bed.
By staying in bed. Now, here's the funny part. He got out of bed when the maid came in to change the sheets, though. Seems a little fucking bass-ackwards, doesn't it?
It certainly does.
Yeah, but, I mean, I think the CIA took down MLK,
Oh,
so
yeah, but that's completely different.
Yeah, well, what I'm getting at is that I don't know if they've necessarily started bands, but I'm pretty sure they've ended some, Like Jim Morrison dying in a bathtub in Paris from a quote-unquote heart attack. So well, it's just he went in one afternoon, took a bath, and died, And they listed it as a heart attack from alcohol withdrawal and drug withdrawal, right? But then you also have a CIA weapon that was developed that's a shellfish toxin, where the coroner report is always going to be a heart attack. That's always what it's going to show, And the Doors were pretty big, pretty counterculture, kind of pushing a lot of different ideas. So I don't know if they've started it, but I would venture a guess that they've ended some.
But don't you think, though, the CIA would also... I guess... my point is, you almost don't want to make a martyr,
Yeah.
But at the other hand, let's be honest, we still listen to the Doors and that kind of stuff, but you really can't say that they're Jim Morrison, Saint Jim Morrison.
Right, yeah. I mean, he's part of the 27 Club? Him, Jimi Hendrix, Janis Joplin.
Kurt Cobain.
Kurt Cobain, yeah, he is in there, isn't he? There's a couple other people in the 20s. Actually, there's a lot of people in the 27 Club.
Dave Matthews.
What? No.
What?
He's not in there. Brian Jones from the Rolling Stones. Amy Winehouse is in it. One of the guys from Canned Heat, he's in it. Who else?
Bon Scott.
Bon Scott. Is he from AC/DC?
I don't know. It was just...
I don't know. I was just guessing.
But it sounds right.
Do you know that Bon Scott met Brian Jones? Or not Brian. Yeah, Brian Jones is Johnson. He met Brian Johnson a couple years before he died. And Brian Johnson was the only singer that actually impressed Bon Scott. He was... Yeah, Bon Scott was watching a show that Brian Johnson was on or was doing, and he got lit on fire or had a heart attack or he got hurt on stage.
See, you can't have a heart attack when you're young.
And so Bon Scott was watching it, not knowing that he was actually injured, right? And he was like, "Wow, that Brian Johnson guy's pretty crazy. He's impressive," And he went back and he told all the other guys at AC/DC. that Brian Johnson was impressive. So then when Bon Scott died and they decided to carry on the band, they were like, who was that guy that Bon Scott liked so much? And that's how he got introduced. Yeah, to AC/DC.
Hey, guys, if I ever die, you should probably pick him.
Right. Why do you say it weird like that? Like you already know.
Wow, just got a feeling.
Yeah, like that Family Guy episode. Ringo, are you from the future? Yeah, I outlived 2 of you. Great. I'm going to go smoke a bunch of cigarettes. Yeah, and I'm going to go hang outside of my hotel.
No, I love the one where Ringo writes a song. Like, oh, that's great, Ringo. We'll just put it on the fridge here.
Put it right up here.
George, look
else.
what Ringo did. Like, oh, that's so great, Ringo. Good job.
Yep. I did hear that the whole myth about Jimi Hendrix putting acid in his bandana before a show.
Yeah, it was a lie. Yeah, it was a lie.
Yeah. Why is there so much shit that floats around like that? And it always seems to be the same thing, too. You know?
I don't know. There's stuff about Marilyn Manson sucking his own dick.
Okay.
Remember that one?
Yeah. Okay. I want to talk about this, though. Okay. We grew up in 2 different parts, right? How did we both hear the same rumor when internet didn't exist yet? You know, like,
dude,
how did that get around so quick? And how does everybody know that?
that is the all-time rumor. Seriously, the fact that there was before internet, social media, and it like crossed state lines like a fucking prairie fire.
Yeah,
everyone knew that Marilyn Manson took out ribs to blow his own dick.
Right, exactly. Like that is wild. Like just
that's also a lie, but.
Oh, yeah, it's absolutely a lie. It's just wild to me that shit can get around so fast. Like, in the 90s and early 2000s, right?
But that got around without internet.
Right. It's wild. It's weird.
You would have thought, there was a Capri Sun commercial about it or something.
Right? Maybe that was a CIA rumor, right? To make Marilyn Manson not cool, you know?
He is a hell of a performer. I saw him live once.
Yeah.
Yeah, he opened up
that's
for the
right.
He opened up for the Smashing Pumpkins. I was invited to go, and it was not my taste of music, but I'm never going to say no to a show. And
sure.
Solid performer, like and actually pretty like charismatic, funny on stage in between his songs. To be honest with you.
Yeah, I've heard good things about him, like as a person. Like he's actually a pretty down to earth type of dude.
Never met the man, but I could see it.
I haven't. You know who's really surprised me that I didn't think I would actually like, but I turned out to really enjoy?
Is it a chef?
No, he's a rapper.
Chance.
Nope. I would say you're cold.
Lil Jon.
Warmer.
Nelly.
Nope. Cold.
I give up.
Post Malone.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's part country now.
Can't
even really say he's a rapper.
I don't know. Once Beyonce did a country album, everybody kind of hopped on that train. But I've seen like a lot of his interviews that he just kind of does, and he seems like a really good guy. Yeah. And like, I'm not a fan of his music at all, but I am a fan of him. You know, because he just seems so cool. You know, like what guy you would bump into public, be like, "Hey, you're Post Malone," and he would like say hi to you, you know, and like shake your hand and be cool about it.
Oh, you want some tickets to my show? No, that's okay. I don't want to. Yeah, we can hang out after. Can hang out after the show.
Can I go backstage? Maybe. You know,
you want to come over after the show.
I don't really know what mumble rap is about. I don't know what you guys are saying these days. What all you kids are up to. But, you know, I saw him on Joe Rogan. He seemed pretty cool. I think he was on Theo Vaughn. He was pretty cool. You know, he just seems like a kind of a down-to-earth type of dude.
Yes, sir, no, ma'am.
Yeah. You know, he's polite. He doesn't forget where his roots are.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Fucking stupid tattoos on the face. How much money would you need to be offered to get a face tat?
A lot.
How much?
140,000.
That's it?
Yeah, I think so. I think if it got rid of a lot of stressors in my life, I think I would go for a face tattoo. Now, do I get to pick what the face tattoo is?
Yeah, but we're not talking something little.
Okay, so we're talking like a big face tattoo.
We're talking like a Mike Tyson size.
Oh, okay. I'm not doing it.
We're not talking like a little teardrop, or like a little like crossbows like on the temple here.
Yeah, I think to get paid to tank any of the career that I've built based off of a face tattoo, we got to talk like 7-8 digits here, man. I don't think I could just do it for anything less than that. Can you
imagine just like being on a Zoom interview but refusing to turn your camera on? You got face tattoo.
Should I just hang up now, or do you guys want to hear the rest of what I got to say?
Oh, that'd be so funny. Actually, can you imagine like being the recruiter and pretending that it's Halloween, so you drew a face tat on because you're going to do your interview as Mike Tyson and conducting the entire interview as Mike Tyson?
I don't think you'd have to pay me too much to talk me into doing something like that. I think I could just sign up to do an interview. That sounds like what's the show? Impractical Jokers?
Yeah.
That sounds like something they would do,
He was saying it was Halloween, but it's middle of March.
Right. I don't get what he's doing.
St. Patrick's Day's next weekend.
Yeah. I don't know. What same for you? Or what's the asking price on a face tattoo for your patches?
Well, you have to think that, I don't know, because you could probably just take, let's just say it's $500. How much does it cost to get that shit lasered off?
Right.
Because if I'm going to still come up on top,
oh no, you gotta keep it.
I gotta keep it.
You gotta keep it. Yeah.
I gotta keep it. Fuck.
Now it's not gonna be anything stupid. It's not gonna be a swastika, right?
No, but it's gonna be a tribal band. It's gonna be a tribal band on the side.
Exactly.
Of
it's gonna look bad.
Yeah.
It's gonna be like barbed wire, or
God.
I don't know.
Or like the it's got to be like the skull jaw, like in the Suicide Squad, the guy who's got all the fire.
Yeah. Diablo.
Yeah, you gotta do that. Yeah, you gotta do that.
No.
And the dark circles
face.
around the eyes.
The full face.
Face. The face could cost you at least $5. Because here's the thing, I'm either gonna have to invest properly or start my own business because no one's gonna hire me.
No, not at all. I'm gonna be working in kitchens the rest of my life.
I don't even know if they'll let you with that.
If they keep you,
it's not even getting a job. It's you you have to explain that to everybody for the rest of your life. Every single conversation. It's not even about what are you going to do for work? It's how are you going to explain this to everyone that A, and B, you're going to meet.
So we're going to address the elephant in the room. Why does Michael have a full skull tattooed over his face?
Why is Michael Miguel from Coco?
Right, yeah, exactly.
Why is Michael Miguel?
We're going to address this, or are we just going to let it brush over it, or, Is he going to be Custer facing?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
I would probably say maybe 5. At the least. I don't know, Michael. That's a tall order.
Yeah, I don't. It would have to be 7-8 figures at least. We're talking.
7.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it. I think any less than 9.5. Million.
Figures or
that
million?
is million. Because I gotta be set for the rest of my life to make
I don't know if you'll be
judgment
set
call.
Yeah, you should be set with 9 mil.
Yeah, if I was conservative, invested some of it,
put it in the S&P 500.
Right. This would be tax-free money, though, right? The government came to you and said, Pat, we're going to tattoo your face with this tribal tattoo or full skull. You get to pick. You get to pick between these two options, but you don't have to pay taxes for the rest of your life. And then you just fill in this blank check. What do you write?
Well, blank check's different because you could do it so you never have to work again. That's the thing. Is like if it's $5 million, you have to play it smart.
Yeah, I think 10. I think I could get away with doing it for $10 million and never have to really worry about anything ever again.
But again, you have to explain that to everyone you know and everyone you're going to meet, Michael.
I think with $10 million, I'm probably not going to be leaving the house all that much. Or if I do, it's not going to be to anywhere where people are going to see me.
Dude,
we're talking like the woods.
I just picture you with the skull tattoos, and then you putting on your fucking cowboy hat, and then rocking suspenders on top of it with the sweatpants.
Oh my God! I would hope the CIA would just take me out of the picture with that. You know, if it gets to that point, say something, please. If I get to that point, just say something, Michael. We need to talk, okay? Go back to when I met you and you had holes in your jeans and you wore Zeppelin t-shirts. Like that was okay. Jeez. Should we start the Midwest goodbye?
Yeah, it's getting to be that time, Michael.
Did you see any of the funny ways? This is probably the funniest shit that the government's ever done. The different ways that they tried to kill Fidel Castro. Have you ever looked into any of this?
No.
Dude, it's straight Looney Tunes, man. I'm telling you.
I'm assuming poison was involved for a couple of times.
So they tried to kill him with a poison milkshake. The CIA got.
Is he a big fan of milkshakes? How did he say no to this milkshake?
He went to the same ice cream parlor every day and always. Dude, I'm not even making this shit up. I'm not even joking. This is real. So he went to the same chocolate milkshake every day, right? And so the CIA found this out, and they went and they convinced the guy that was working there to poison Castro. So they gave him this pill, right? Well, the guy put the pill in the freezer, to, I guess, hide it, right? But when Castro came in and ordered the milkshake, he picked up the pill, but it shattered. So he just said okay, and then just just gave him his milkshake, and Castro went on living.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Why didn't they just give him another pill the next day?
I don't know. I'm guessing the budget was pretty thin on that operation.
If you're trying to kill him multiple times, it seems like he still kind of had that one in the bag. I was hoping for more of he puts it in the milkshake, and at the last second he goes, "My fearless leader, no, Fidel," and then he takes it and drinks it himself.
Yeah. Well, there was an exploding cigar. Was one of the
How
other
did that
ways.
fail?
The cigar wasn't powerful enough. It just kind of did that thing, where it flays out. Yeah, Looney Tunes style, and turns his face all black. Yeah. It says here that there was the exploding cigar, but then they also put a toxin in the cigar, but the cigar box was never delivered to him. So somebody got a bad box of cigars and ended up dying from misplaced. There was another one, exploding seashells.
Why did Fidel like to collect seashells?
Castro was an avid scuba diver, so the CIA planned to plant colorful, eye-catching conch shells packed with explosives on the seabed where he dove. The agency ultimately realized they could not guarantee Castro would be the one to pick it up.
The way you're describing Fidel, he seems like he is a kind of a fun guy to hang out with.
Right? Hey,
we're going to go scuba diving.
Get some
we're going to go get some ice cream.
Sounds like
we're
an awesome
going to have some
cigars. I want Castro to plan my next vacation. This sounds great.
Dude, are you kidding me?
There is another one, a fungus-lined wetsuit. So
that sounds itchy.
the CIA lined the inside of a diving suit with a chronic skin disease fungus that contaminated the breathing regulator with a tuberculosis bacteria. The American diplomat was supposed to gift the suit to Castro, but the diplomat brought a different, safer suit on his own before the toxic one could be delivered. So he botched that one. LSD broadcasting spray. Dude, I'm just thinking of like two guys sitting in a room, like marketing, you know? What else could we think of? What are other fun ways to try to kill Fidel Castro? You know, exploding seashells. Oh, that's a great one.
Sounds like a fucking Itchy and Scratchy cartoon.
Yeah, I know, right? Like, oh, jeez. I don't know. I was reading about it today, and I was just dying laughing at some of these things.
Why did it have to be so secret? Like, if a cigar blew up in his face, it's still pretty obvious someone did that, you know?
Right.
Like, that's not being secretive. Like, if you put a poison pill in his milkshake, you know, like, hey, died of natural causes. But,
yeah, I don't know. I think Castro knew about it, you know, because they tried to get him with darts. That they hired the CIA. Johnny Roselli, Salvatore Giancana, and Santo Trafficante were all leveraged to execute a hit on Cuba, but that never worked.
But did you know there's a big thing of Cuba? I don't know if we've talked about this. I feel like we have. But Cuba was pretty much the East Coast's version of Las Vegas in the 70s, 60s, and stuff.
Well, I kind of knew that there was a lot of like rum being run out of there and like prohibition.
Not even no. This is after that. Because it's actually, they even talk about in Godfather 2. There's a Jewish mob boss. I think it's Meyer Lansky is his name.
Yep.
But there was a bunch of casinos. Like, it was, if you lived in New York, you know, Florida, like, you didn't go to Vegas, you went to Cuba.
Yeah. I mean, they're in Cuba when he goes, I know it was you, Fredo. Right? He kisses him and says, I know it was you, Fredo.
Same movie, but I don't know if they're in Cuba.
I thought that was a Cuba New Year's Eve party that happened.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it in years. Actually, that's a good one to be watching soon.
Godfather 2?
Just what do you think of the first two?
Yeah. I think on HBO they have that supercut of all three packed into one movie.
Yeah, for some reason my dad had that on VHS.
Yeah,
before that shit came out.
Yeah, because I remember you telling me about that you had a supercut of it and like didn't know where it came from, and then like years later I saw it on HBO. I was like, oh shit, he was right. It's right here.
It's the Godfathers in chronological order. So it starts off in Godfather 2 with Vito being a kid doing his thing in Sicily, and then coming over. And then it bounces back between 1 and 2 for a while. You know?
Yeah.
So it's like
that's
chronological
awesome.
order. But I haven't seen those movies in years.
Yeah. I'll turn on one, like if it's on AMC. It usually seems to be on TV every Sunday.
That's not really a background movie, though. That's something I want to... You got to, like, pay attention. It's not like Fast and Furious or Transformers, you know?
True.
Like, you got to figure out what the fuck's going on.
Now, do you share the thought that 3 is not good?
It's horrible.
Yeah, I didn't like it. I think I've only seen it once.
Michael, the whole like cousin relationship. Like, come on, guys, what are you doing?
Yeah, I don't know. There was a movie that just came out about the making of that, or maybe it was a TV show. It's The Offer, that's what it is. It's a show on Paramount Plus.
Okay.
It follows Francis Ford Coppola, and then Miles Teller plays the producer of how they're trying to get The Godfather made, and how Joe Bananas, Columbo, I think is who it is. He gets involved with all of it. And there's like this whole like back and forth about it. Because I guess the Columbos were involved with the creation of The Godfather.
Of the third one?
No, the first one.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
I'm
that's
sure
what that
there's some weird
show's
stories
about.
that, yeah.
Yeah. Well, because the guy who played Luca was...
he was an odd guy.
Yep. And I think they're in the parking lot or something like that. But yeah, that's what that show's about. I've been seeing clips of it, been wanting to watch it, but it's just another plus account to purchase, you know?
Sure. You know what? Another fun, funny mob movies. I love the Analyze This and Analyze That. Those are
So
pretty
underrated. So underrated, dude. I love those movies.
Yeah, those are
anything with Billy Crystal's pretty good. You know?
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen much with Billy Crystal that's not at least a little funny.
True.
Yeah. Well, I think I'm going to go find this Godfather cut. Okay. And I think that's going to be my evening.
I'm going to think about the order of drugs I want to take. When I hit 75.
Start a flight.
And the amounts.
Right, yeah. A little bit of this in the morning, a little bit of this with my coffee.
Mix and match.
Yep. All right. Oh, we don't want to hit that button. Thank you for listening to another episode of the Common Professionals podcast. All music, content, and media used in this production are original creations and are owned by the Common Professionals.